Hello and welcome to episode 80 of the Millennial Economics podcast, and we're doing a little bit different. Feel a little bit off, kind of getting used to some things. Starting the new year off with the video platform of the podcast. So we're already 80 episodes in. We are well over a year deep into the podcast. But we're getting the new year 2022 started off on the right foot. This is exciting. I kind of set up my new little studio here, and that will probably be ever evolving. But I'm super excited to kind of take this next step with you, a little bit more interactive. You can see my face. We've done some live episodes of the podcast, but we are here, y'all, like ring light and all. I got this ring light right in front of me, and it's real. So kind of starting off here, got some plans for this year. So we've launched Millennial Economics coaching. By the way, everything we talk about, you can find all of the resources at www.millennialecon.com. Usually in the navigation bar, there's going to be something that will take you to kind of what we're talking about. So whether it's some of the platforms that I use, like Acorns or M1 Finance that I talk about a lot, the Millennial Economics coaching, the podcast episodes, if you prefer to listen to those wherever you listen to podcasts instead of doing the video, all of that you can find at www.millennialecon.com. But to start this year off, we are launching a new series, and I believe it's going to be an 8 or 9 part series. I might get a little creative with a few of them at the end, called Millennial Economics University. And essentially what this is going to do, it's going to equip you with the tools that you need, the knowledge that you need to start the new year off with some of the goals that you probably have set for yourself on the right foot. So we're going to talk about tons of things. We're going to talk about kind of the beginning of the financial journey all the way through to the end and every bit in between. It's going to be a really exciting journey. It's going to be a great refresher. So if you're new to personal finance, if you're new to investing, if you're new to the psychology behind being financially fit, like I talk about a lot here, this is perfect for you. If you are seasoned, I guess you could say, and you're very familiar with personal finance and you don't necessarily need all the building blocks, this is going to be a great refresher. One thing that I've learned through reading books and listening to podcasts and listening to YouTube videos is that, sure, everything that I watch isn't necessarily something brand new, right? But a lot of it is regurgitated information, I guess you could say, or the same principles that I'm taking in over and over again, which helps me stay sharp. So if you were more seasoned, then this can be that for you as well. So this first episode of Millennial Economics University, the series, we're going to talk about goals. And goals is something that I'm very passionate about. To me, it's the absolute foundation, the absolute building block of your personal finance journey. Okay? If you don't know where you're going, we talk about this all the time in some of the previous episodes. If you don't know where you're going, you don't know the things you need to do to get you there. Okay? If you don't know where you're going, you don't know the things you need to do to get you there. If you don't have a goal, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to end up in a bad place. It just might not be a place that you intend to or that you want to be. Okay? Goals are the thing that we have way far off. And then we can reverse engineer all the way back to make sure that we get to where we want to be. So just to throw out some of the goals, some people may be wanting to buy a house. Some people might be wanting to get debt free. Maybe you want to start learning to invest. Maybe you want to save up for a luxury purchase or a vacation. Maybe you want to pursue financial freedom or financial independence, retire early. There are tons and tons of goals. Maybe you want to leave an inheritance for your kids or pay for your kids' college. There are tons and tons of goals. Those goals are unique to you, and you need to do some thinking if you haven't done so yet to identify what those are. And it doesn't necessarily have to be one, but I would highly suggest that you make it not 10, 11, 12. You want a subgroup of 1 to 3 goals that you can really hone in on this year and moving forward. And you also need to give yourself permission for those goals to change. Because sometimes, you might run into people that, you're always into this. They might tell you you're always into this, or you kind of always change what you want to do, or, you're into this one second, you're into something another second. That's okay. We're changing people. We're learning as we go. So It's okay to change your goals, but it's very important that we identify them. Okay, so what does it mean to actually identify your goals? Most of you out there probably have spent time thinking or dreaming about things. Okay, maybe you spend some time on YouTube watching about van life or the nomadic life, or maybe you've dreamt about a certain career, or maybe you've dreamt about, and this was me years ago, dreaming about paying off that final dollar of my debt. Okay, maybe you've done all of that, and that's all great. But thinking about those goals is just the first step. What you need to really do is write it down, whether it's in a notepad or a notebook, which I keep, and I also use a Google Doc. But type it, write it, think about it, but get it somewhere where you're able to see it and where it's solidified, okay? When you're able to write down a goal and see that and come back to it, and also track the progress that you're making to get to that goal, there's something powerful that happens. There's something powerful that happens more so than just when you think. And again, one thing that I always talk about with personal finance is that a lot of the success that we have is much more of a psychological issue than it is a numbers issue. So here's the psychological things, right? We think about goals, and that's great, but we need to write them down, okay? We need to identify exactly what we want to do and where we want to be. So before we get to the next episode, what I would highly encourage you to do is to take some time. The next episode will be coming out in a week, okay? Take some time where it's quiet, the screens are off. Maybe get a little bit of music. I like to do like the chill music on YouTube. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but I like to put that on in the background and just grab a cup of coffee or something and just think, where do I want to be at the end of the year? Where do I want to be in 5 years and 10 years? What do I want my legacy to be? Do I want to buy a Lamborghini? Or maybe you just want something as simple as feeling freedom from debt and payments. Maybe you want to buy a house. Really dream with yourself and figure out what your goal is going to be. Because if you don't have a motivator, then the actions that you're going to take to become financially fit are not going to be sustainable for you. Okay, as humans, we have to have something at the end of the line to motivate us along the way, because if the actions are leading to nothing, then as soon as those actions become difficult, you'll stop doing them. Okay, so for instance, if you're wanting to lose weight, or if you're wanting to gain a little bit of muscle or get stronger, then the carrot at the end is the weight loss, or the carrot at the end is the building of the muscle, right? But if you just wanted to go to the gym just because you're wanting to go to the gym and you don't really have anything out there that you're searching for or that you're looking toward, well, those trips to the gym, especially on those days where you're not very motivated to do it, are going to get very, very old, okay? So you have to have that carrot out there. So that's going to be episode 1, and your homework I guess we could say part 1. Let's say part 1 of the Millennial Economics University series starting in 2020 is to take some time, write down what your goals are, and then meet me back here in about a week, and we're going to talk about our next topic. But thank you so much for tuning into episode 80 of the Millennial Economics podcast. Sorry if anything's clunky, but I don't like to do many edits. I like just to talk to you. And for those of you that have listened to the past 80 episodes of the podcast, you kind of know how I roll. It's very informal. It's very real. It's a conversation. But I hope you found this valuable. I hope these videos reach a broader audience and that you all interact with me. I would love your comments down below telling me, hey, you have a face for podcasts. Maybe the video isn't for you, or, if you found this topic helpful. And also something that would be really cool is to comment down below with what your goals are as you start to flesh those out, what your goals are for this year. And you have my word that I will interact with all of you down in the comments. So thank you so much for your time, and we will catch you on the next episode.